Hey everyone, it's David of Strong by Elite. Thanks for tuning in. I want to spend the next couple of minutes discussing a topic that I think will be very pertinent, especially to women, and that is the topic of can you get stronger, lift more weights without getting bigger, without gaining weight, without gaining muscular bulk. And as a personal trainer, I think this is a very important topic for women especially because a lot of women come to me just wanting to tone up, wanting to get tighter, build a little bit of curves, do some resistance training because they've heard from their friend or from the magazine that getting stronger resistance training is great for their bones, it's great for their muscles, it's great for their mental health, it's great for their metabolism, especially for women who are menopause and older. But weight training doesn't come without its misconceptions because in the same vein that a lot of these women are extolling the virtues of resistance training, there are some women who have gotten overly muscular, more muscular than the average woman, abnormally muscular through the assistance of performance enhancing drugs and are extremely lean, very cut, very muscular, and for all intents and purposes, they look masculine. And most women probably do not want that. And, you know, with all due respect, some of these women who are very muscular, gracing the covers of bodybuilding magazines, that's how they make a living. That's their livelihood. Maybe they're personal trainers and they're paid to look like that. But most people who I work with don't want to look like that. So they come to me wanting to do resistance training, but also they have these conflicting beliefs that if they do too much resistance training, of course, there could always be too much of anything. If they do resistance training, that they're going to bulk up overnight. And I'm hoping that we could take the next couple of minutes to kind of dispel some of those myths or at least allay some of your fears. I want to use me as an example first and foremost. Back in 2013, I was a competitive powerlifter. I weighed at 150 pounds. I did sanctioned powerlifting competitions where the judges ranked and qualified your lifts. For the squat, I did 425 pounds, which is almost 3 times my body weight. For the bench press, I did 260 pounds. And then for the deadlift, which is lifting a weight off the ground, I did 465 pounds. In training, I did 500 pounds. So that's more than 3 times my body weight. No drugs, all natural. I maintained my body weight at 150 pounds while inching my way up. Now, before we move on, as a disclaimer, the more muscle you have, the higher you're pushing the ceiling for strength potential. The stronger you can get, the more muscle you have. It just kind of goes in lockstep. But you can still get stronger without gaining weight, without gaining more muscular bulk. You can also get stronger, get more muscular while maintaining the same weight. And that process is called body recomposition. In order for that to happen, your body needs to lose body fat mass and gain muscle mass. That happens over time, though. It happens over the course of months and years. It does not happen overnight. The easiest way to build muscle is to focus with laser-like clarity on building muscle. You'll take a block of time, anywhere between 4 to 16 weeks, to really focus on building muscle. Just ambitiously, dedicatedly building muscle, and you do that for fat loss. That is the easiest way to manipulate your body weight, manipulate your strength levels and the amount of muscle mass you have linearly. But a lot of people might not have the schedule to do that. They might not have the inclination to train that often. So for most people, it's more feasible for them to do something a little bit more drawn out, such as body recomposition, where the nutrition and the training looks as if they're building muscle here and then losing weight here, building muscle here, losing weight there. The average woman, under those types of circumstances, who is not an athlete, who's not a high schooler, who is not in college in their 20s, the average woman in maybe their 30s, 40s, and 50s and beyond might be lucky to build half a pound of muscle per month. What that translates into is 6 pounds of muscle per year under optimal conditions. Now, the average American gains 2 to 3 pounds per year of fat. So over the course of 10 years, the average American might be 15, 20, 25 pounds heavier. Under optimal conditions, an average woman is going to build half a pound of muscle per month, 6 pounds a year, and then there's a linear degradation, meaning that you're not going to see 6 pounds of muscle gain every single year after year. One year you might do 6 pounds, the next year you might do 4, the next year you might 3, because the body adapts. For males might be an average male who works full-time, has a family, has other obligations outside of the gym, might be able to gain 1 pound of muscle per month under optimal conditions. That translates into 12 pounds of muscle per year. Now, a lot of different things are happening at the same time. You're not just building muscle. Your metabolism is improving. You're getting stronger. You're getting more muscular. But the idea is you can maintain your body weight, get stronger, get more muscular without outgrowing your wardrobe 2 to 3 times over. Now, of course, there are some women, once they get stronger and once they build more muscle, despite staying the same weight, do outgrow their wardrobe because they're building curves. As you build muscle, your lats will get a little bit wider, your shoulders might get a little bit broader, your butt might get bigger, more roundly, wider, legs get bigger, so you might not be able to fit into the skinny jeans that you once were able to, or that tight fitted jacket. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. But the point I'm trying to drive home here is that you can get stronger and lift weights without getting overly big. Now, I'm not going to say that you're not going to get big. I'm saying you're not going to get overly big, or at least you're not going to get as big as what you probably think you're going to get just because you've been influenced by social media or bodybuilders who are on the cover of magazines. When it comes to actual strategies in order to build muscle, I'm talking about in order to build muscle because if you're trying to avoid building muscle, you don't want to do this. Research shows that you want to address your muscles every 48 to 72 hours. That's the frequency part of the equation. Every 48 to 72 hours, you want to apply some type of stimulus, stress, and signal at the right intensities, at the right volume. Intensity meaning how heavy you're lifting. And research shows that anywhere between like 60 to 75% of your 1 rep maximum is enough to stimulate or at least get your muscles to contract hard enough to where if the volume part of the equation is being met, that's going to maximize muscle growth. And if you don't know your 1 rep maximum, that's fine. This is just what the research is showing. Volume will differ between people, but volume essentially means how long within each set you're lifting a particular weight. And research shows anywhere between 12 to 20 repetitions or up to 40 seconds. So let's say you're doing push-ups. You can do push-ups for up to 40 seconds. That's probably going, from a volume standpoint, that's probably going to maximize the hypertrophy or muscle gaining signal. So 48 to 72 hours, so every 2 to 3 days, you're addressing a muscle group at the right type of volume, at the right type of intensity. That's just a signal. Just because you do that doesn't automatically mean you're going to build muscle. What's going to build muscle is the nutrition. Nutrition is number one. Like they say, nutrition is key when it comes to gaining or losing weight. It's the exact same thing when it comes to losing fat and building muscle. There are 3 main nutrients. There's protein, there's fat, and there's carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is the number 1 nutrient when it comes to muscle growth because carbohydrates are broken down into simple sugars. Then those simple sugars are then shuttled to either the liver or the muscle. The muscle is where we're going to look at because after it gets broken down into sugar and gets sent to the muscle, it's either going to get burnt off, going to be used by the muscular tissue. Maybe you're working out and your body's using those sugars for energy because the body prefers to use sugars as energy during high intensity activity, or it's going to get stored as what's called glycogen. Glycogen will get stored in the muscle tissue, and when it gets stored in the muscle tissue, it's also going to retain additional water. What that is going to do is expand the muscle tissue. It's going to make the muscle bigger, and then of course that's going to translate into, bigger muscle. It's going to come off as a bigger appearance. You do that consistently enough, and you keep expanding the muscle tissue and force it to hold more sugar and retain more water, that's how you're going to get that bulky, muscular look. Carbohydrate, not protein. Protein gets broken down into amino acids. Those amino acids are necessary to rebuild muscle tissue, but the carbohydrates are what's going to expand the actual muscle tissue. So carbohydrates is what you want. So if you're looking to control the amount of muscle that you're gaining, control the amount of carbohydrates that you're eating. And of course, we can't ignore recovery. If you sleep like crap, then your stress hormones are going to be up. Those 2 stress hormones that we're focused on, adrenaline and cortisol, if they're up for too long and at too high of a magnitude, it's going to break down muscle tissue because when the body's under stress, the last thing it wants to do is to hold onto muscle and build it. It wants to burn off muscle. It wants to get quick sources of energy, and the quickest source of energy for the body come from muscle. Carbohydrates, sugars, protein, amino acids. Those are the 2 fastest energy sources that the body's going to liberate when it's under stress. So if you're undergoing psychological stress or physical stress, maybe you're working out a ton, you're not sleeping well, and you're under a lot of psychological stress, mental stress from work, you're probably going to break down and lose muscle before you build it. So recovery is obviously the 3rd part of the equation. So all 3 of those things need to be working in step in order for you to build optimal amounts of muscle. So again, I hope this video was helpful. I hope it gave you a little bit of perspective. You're not going to build bulk overnight. It's very rare that that happens. Once in a blue moon type of person. If that does happen, then you should go try out for the NFL or something like that. Whether if you're a man or I don't know. But most athletes who have the propensity to build muscle, or most people who have the propensity to build muscle, are athletes, or I don't know, they're doing something else that's maybe physically related. Maybe they're a personal trainer or something like that. But most people, for women, 0.5 pound of muscle a month. For men, 1 pound of muscle a month, and it's in a linear degradation fashion. 3 things need to be present: training, nutrition, and recovery. If you're controlling your carbohydrates and you're not working out like crazy and you're sleeping well, then you'll lose fat before you build muscle. And so I hope this video was helpful. I know it's a lot. It's about 10 minutes. It's a little bit longer than what I normally do, but I know this is a big topic and we'll probably expand on it in other videos. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please shoot them over to me at david@strongbybelly.com. Until then, get strong and get big, or not.